So we're here with David Rutter, the producer of FIFA 12. Yep. So would you say that FIFA 12 it's fair to say it's the most upgraded FIFA in a long time?
Definitely. So we're pretty proud of this one. We've worked very hard to kind of deliver a suite of features that we think are kind of quite revolutionary, and it's kind of how far it's taken the game forward. So yeah, very happy.
Good. So let's talk about the collision system. I mean, there must be infinite different combos in a different collision. So what sort of work goes into that?
Quite a lot, actually. We've been working on the player impact for over 2 years. So I guess around about the time of FIFA 10, we determined that to be able to take the kind of physicality of the players to the next level and provide very believable, very fluid and kind of a limitless variety in those collisions and nuance, which is one of the key parts of it, we would need to redo our animation system for collisions. So we did. It's taken a long time, but you know, the variety of outcomes, the believability of them, and probably, you know, you've played the game, so you'll probably attest to this. The fact that whilst you're playing it, there's no glaring weirdness between the animations when the collisions happen, that it just keeps you so immersed in the moment. It's really, really enjoyable.
And let's talk a little bit about the defensive AI. That's a huge improvement.
So yeah, we wanted to I guess calm things down and make it a bit more engaging whilst you were defending. So, you know, the old button press to launch the defenders up the pitch isn't there anymore, and we've replaced it with what we call tactical defending. It's a lot more engaging. As I say, you actually have to be thinking about how to defend. You know, there's some AI assistance when you're pressing that contain button, and it'll help you track the ball and kind of shepherd that player into a disadvantageous position. But at the same time, it's very much about reading the play and not reacting straight away. So timing your tackles, covering the passing channels, and actually playing the game like a real defender. And I guess, you know, attack's always fun and always has been in FIFA. Defence was kind of mindless. Now you're almost getting double the game, because when you don't have the ball, you're still having to play the game.
Yeah, right. So, and your competitors over at Konami have introduced some similar features. Okay. So do you guys look at what they do and think, how can we improve on what they've done, as well as doing what we're, you know, focused on doing?
Sure. So I mean, obviously, no matter what you're making in the world, if you have a competitor, you check it out and see what's going on there. I guess the big thing for us was, what we wanted to do was take FIFA 11 and take it to the next level, rather than just making FIFA 11 and making it tons better. So we've kind of, as I say, revolutionised the game this year. That combination in gameplay, the massive amount of improvements we've made to career mode this year, the 2 new online modes that we've got, you know, the EA Sports Football Club, FIFA Ultimate Team being on the disc, pro player intelligence for the behaviours of the personalities on the CPU AI teams. You know, tons of stuff which, you know, it's nice when your competitor checks out what you're doing and tries to follow suit. But you know, I'm really happy with this year's game.
And what about the third of the Holy Trinity, as you're calling it, of the big features?
Yeah, I never mentioned the holy bit. I guess the Trinity's there because the kind of way I look at it, the 3 things fit together really nicely. So on the one hand, you've got the tactical defending when you don't have the ball, and the one you're talking about is precision dribbling when you do. So the key part of that for me is, in previous, well, from FIFA 10 onwards, we had 360-degree dribbling, which was great. You could kind of go in any direction you want. You had total directional freedom, but what you didn't have was distance freedom. So, you know, you'd sometimes get the ball and turn, and you'd take a step with the ball, and you could often turn into trouble. So precision dribbling stops that happening. It also allows you to, you know, take very close control of the ball, quite slowly, but jink about from one side to the other, changing your feet, and essentially take on defenders face to face, which you never really felt like you had the confidence to do in previous FIFAs, and now you can. Also great for changing the pace of the game, so you can slow it down and then explode out of it with a sprint, and that's really, really rewarding when you get it right. And even explore areas of the pitch that you just wouldn't have been able to do. So you can hold the ball really tight in the corner now, either by shielding and using precision dribbling to just kill time, which I'm pretty sure most footballers would do, given kind of the option if they're winning late in the game. So precision dribbling being the kind of ability to actually check out areas of the pitch and take people on, particularly in, you know, where there's a lot of players around where it's quite congested.
Right, okay. And you touched on the online play a little bit there.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that you guys are putting a lot of stock into that from now on? Is that the way forward for FIFA?
We've had over 1 billion game sessions of FIFA played with FIFA 11, and I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I love playing people face to face playing FIFA, but if there's not someone around my house, my wife's not usually going to pick up a gamepad and play FIFA against me, so online's the way to go. Sometimes I like playing head-to-head ranked, sometimes I like playing friendlies against my mate, and really what we wanted to do this year was put quite a lot of effort into those two areas to make it engaging and rewarding and kind of build a meta game around it. So for rank play, we have our online seasons this year. You start in Division 10, you have to earn 12 points, 3 for a win, 1 for a draw, 0 for a loss, from 10 games to get promoted. Again, 10 games in each season. But the amount of points you need to get promoted increases the further up the table you get. So it's going to get quite competitive, and a good way to stream people, make sure you're matchmaking with the right kinds of people, and similarly give the people that get right to the top quite a lot of bragging rights because they're going to be consistently winning all the time. So a good way to kind of sort that out. The other side of it for friendlies, what we wanted to do was actually allow people to automatically track their records against their friends. Totally made that in the game dead easy. You match, you see your mate online, you send him a game invite into the friendlies mode, and you're away.
Okay. So I've got to ask you, everyone's always really keen to find out what new stadiums, new leagues or anything that are involved in the game. Can you tell us anything there?
I'm not sure if I can. There are some new stadia going into the game. I'm not talking about teams or licenses, unfortunately. But I know one of the big things we've been doing this year is working obviously with the Vancouver Whitecaps. So the new BC Place is in the game, which is pretty cool. And obviously, we're close friends of Juventus, and we've been working on their new stadium too.
And one thing, as a FIFA fanboy, going back to the mid-90s, I've got to ask you, what happened to the indoor modes in the 97, 98 ones?
So I think when we were moving on to this console generation, we wanted to really focus on the 11 versus 11 simulation of the professional sport. I know the kind of five-a-side stuff and indoor footy is really popular, and lots of people ask for it. It's not ever really been a priority for us in the last few years. We just want to make sure we build the best football game we can. That said, if you want a short-handed game, you can go into the practice mode and decrease the number of players on the pitch. You can do that. It's not quite the same. But obviously at GAMESCOM we announced FIFA Street. So there will be a FIFA Street coming, and that will offer a host of cool kind of short-sided indoor footy.
No worries. And the Women's World Cup was here in Germany just recently. How long do you think before we see women's teams, maybe international teams in FIFA?
So in FIFA, I'm not too sure. Having watched a bunch of the games in the World Cup, it was great, really entertaining. I think one of the guys at work actually said he'd rather watch the Women's World Cup than the men's because it was that much better. Lots of goals, lots of fun, lots of controversy, lots of stuff happening. But again, we're really focused on, domestic side of the game more than anything in FIFA, so the Premier League, Championship, etc., just to make sure that we're focusing on that, and at the moment ladies in the game isn't a priority, but I would say never.
And last but not least, once all said and done here with all the demos and everything tomorrow, can I play you?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, thanks a lot.
Good luck with that.